First off, let's talk about mitochondria. These organelles are like the batteries of your cells, producing energy through a process called oxidative phosphorylation. Think of it as a tiny power plant converting nutrients into adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, the fuel your brain and body run on. But sometimes these powerhouses go on the fritz, a situation known as mitochondrial dysfunction. When that happens, energy production drops and cells can struggle to function properly. You might wonder, how does mitochondrial trouble relate to neuropsychiatric disorders? Research suggests that mitochondrial dysfunction can influence a variety of brain conditions, from depression and bipolar disorder to Alzheimer's disease and even autism spectrum disorders. It turns out that when mitochondria aren't working optimally, it can affect processes like cell differentiation, proliferation, and apoptosis, how cells grow, divide, and die. These processes are crucial for brain development and maintenance. Wait, it gets even more interesting. Mitochondrial DNA, which is separate from our regular DNA, play a key role. Variations or copy number changes in mitochondrial DNA have been linked to neuropsychiatric disorders. For example, some studies measure mitochondrial DNA copy number to see if it correlates with conditions like cognitive impairment or depressive symptoms. One of the factors involved is methylmalonic acid, a metabolic intermediate that can accumulate when mitochondrial function is compromised. Elevated methylmalonic acid levels are a sign of disrupted mitochondrial metabolism. This can happen due to issues like methylmalonyl CoA translocase problems, an enzyme responsible for transporting metabolites into mitochondria. Such disruptions can contribute to neurodevelopmental and neurodegenerative disorders, highlighting how mitochondrial health is tightly linked to brain function. Scientists are even using techniques like Mendelian randomization to explore whether these mitochondrial changes cause neuropsychiatric conditions or are just associated with them. Mitochondria are not just about energy, they also help regulate oxidative stress, cell homeostasis, and immune responses. When they malfunction, it can lead to increased oxidative stress, which damages cells and tissues, including neurons. Mitochondrial dysfunction can influence neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and reorganize itself. When mitochondrial health declines, so does cellular resilience, making the brain more vulnerable to neurodegenerative and psychiatric conditions. Finally, it's worth knowing that many metabolic disorders like hyperlipidemia and hypertension are also linked to mitochondrial health. Who knows, these tiny organelles could have such a big impact on our minds. Thanks for joining this microscopic adventure. Stay curious.